Alright, let's jump straight into it. We're playing Blue Dofi today against BY Luffy. Okay. Turn 1, Makino. I already think BY Luffy's making a mistake. Against Doflamingo, do you need to take your life this aggressively? I'm not sure. My hand looks good. I've got Jinbei, so Jinbei Weevil, and then we're just gonna go for whatever's on top. It's a boa. Means we're coming in for 8. And I've got draw play on an Edward Weevil, which is gonna be fantastic. However, I'm probably gonna just Jinbei Weevil next turn, so. He's down to 2 life. He's got 3, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand. Plays out a Luffy. Rocket Luffy to pop boa. Again, he's got a lot of cards in hand. So this pudding is looking juicy. See if he follows this up with anything. Oh, let me speed this up. We're moving a little slow. He drops a baby Sabo. So he's only got 7 cards in hand. So we could pudding here, but I kind of would rather develop a board, so. Yep, so we just Jinbei Weevil pass, setting up for next turn. I wouldn't have mind playing Martial D Teach into Jinbei Weevil, but we end up with more cards this way. Okay, so he's gonna push himself down to 0 life. A 7k leader, Sabo cycling. And then he's gonna be able to leader effect and get back to life. So he's like pretty set up. He's going into 8 Dawn next turn. And we don't really have a board yet, so that's pretty not great. We're going to 7 Dawn though, so that's an easy Martial D Teach. Play a 4-drop, cheat a 4-drop off top using Doflamingo leader ability. So. Oh, but we probably want to swing 7s while we're at it. Yeah, so we could just go 7, 7, 7. Teach. We can go 8 with Jinbei. And the thing is we're so early in the game. Look, he has no 5-cost bodies in his discard. Now he has that Sabo. So he doesn't really want to lose these Luffys. And then I'm kind of set up. I have Perfume Femur. So if he ever goes to 0 life, it's just a strict mistake. And then he Rocket Luffy's the Jinbei. Again, wrong target, right? You should have gone after a Weevil. And then he's coming after a Weevil this way. And we're going to counter out because we should be able to eat up a lot of cards out of his hand. Just deal with the Garp on the board, then we'll go 9. Yep. And then 12, and we've got him down to 1 card. It is a Gecko Moria. So if we had 1 more Dawn, we kill him. But either way, he double lifes, which is a mistake against Dofi because I'm on Perfume Fumer. So now I just Perfume Fumer for game. And then we get cheeky with it. We Martial D-Teach. I didn't need to do that, but yeah, it gives us an extra 2k power that we normally wouldn't have had. So there's BY Luffy, one of the arguably the best deck in the format. So yeah, Blue Doflamingo putting in work as expected. And now let's check out a game into Yamato. I feel like Yamato is kind of rising in popularity. And then here we turn 1 have no play, which is pretty unfortunate, and then turn 2 we teach. And then we go ahead and putting him because he was up to how many cards was that for? Let me just rewind. So he goes 9 into face, and he's got 8 cards in hand. Yeah, so we putting him for 3 cards, which is really good. And we'll go 5 into face. He counters out. And Perona, we're going to set up our deck. And it's looking good. Okay, so he's going to banish for 9. Honestly, I don't even have to counter out of this. I just do because it feels good to not lose 2 cards to banish. Go 2 into 2. That Shura swing was a mistake. We send Goku, pick up this Jinbei, which we knew it was there. And then we're going to bounce 2 of our guys, go 5-5, and then replay this Sengoku. Which, is this better than just leader abilitying the Jinbei? And then I could have picked up like Sengoku Pudding after I swing 5. Yeah, I think this turn was a little inefficient on my part. No, I've got Boa to sack the deck as well as Perona. But it looks like we don't have great plays. We are gonna Gecko off the top, which can get us back probably Jinbei. Yep, and then we can try and clear board. And then there might have been a sequencing issue there. Yeah, because maybe I could have swung 5. Oh no, because I can't put the Dawn on Pudding. Okay, either way, we've got a full board, and he has none, and he's out of cards. It's looking like game over for Yamato. Okay. Let's take a peek into, starter deck Luffy. Okay, this is a game where we have a turn 1 Perona. Huge. It's always a good thing to have. We also have Teach though, but Teach into Jinbei plus whatever, so yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff coming. I already forgot what I sacked to the top, but yeah, we pick up our Pudding. He's at 7 cards, so this would be a 2-card Pudding. However, I always, like in this scenario, I prefer putting pressure on my opponent. So Sengoku will pick up a good target. And we're a little sad to see this Jozu go. Jozu's just such good tempo. But we're going to pick up Gecko. We're going to drop it to pick up the Perona so that we can plus a little. We didn't really have any other target, so we have to play Gecko. Okay, but this time we've got Jinbei. We've got all of our Jinbeis. So how do we lose this game? Yep, we Jinbei Gecko to pick up the Boa, and then we go 5-7. He takes one, blocks one. His hand's probably kind of bricky if he took a 5k swing. He's gonna Sabo. Dumping Brooks Sabo off of that. Smashes into our Gecko. We're okay with that. We've got Jinbei Boa. So right now we just swing face. Oh man, and we've got a Weevil off the top. Yeah, so we can. Wow, so here I telegraph my swings. And I do it because I want to eat his 2k counters like that, rather than going like 5, 7, 6, 7. Which, actually that's just better. I should have moved one of these Dawn over to, yeah, but, okay, he's got 5 cards, he's a 6k leader, he's got a Jack on board. But we're just gonna go for game. He gives me a bunch of cards. He blocks. There we go, 6, 6. And then I believe, yeah, we've got a full board. There's not a lot that's gonna bring him back into this game. We're gonna counter out of everything and then proceed to smash. Yeah, so that's Luffy. Let's take a look at Rebecca. Okay, so Rebecca's can be pretty grindy, and he's starting off with Stage and Rebecca, which is like pretty ideal for him. So he's got a good start. I've got a Martial T Teach though, so I've got a great start as well. And then here I'm thinking that I just want to blind Doflamingo. I think I could use Buggy too. Yeah, because then if I hit like a Teach, and I just leave it. Ooh, Boa. And then I can Weevil. Oh, actually I can Jinbei. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's starting to look really good for me. The Boa let me stack the cards, pick up that Sengoku on my next draw. He does Kairos my Buggy, swings 7 because he can attack immediately because of the Coliseum. I am gonna pudding him though. He's got, you know, minimal cards, and then I've got Jinbei Weevil using Teach. And then 7/7, which is gonna take 2 cards. We're just gonna ignore Kairos because as long as Rebecca is standing, it's gonna take 2 swings to deal with him. It was 8 and 5, I can live with that. He Rebecca's into. I'm waiting for our opponent to make a decision here. Okay, Rebecca's into nothing, so That's good. He probably just picked up a 2K or a Sabo. I can't remember. Either way, we're just gonna get aggressive. Go 7. So we've got 7 Dawn left, which is just a bunch of 7s for me. I got Bounce Law. That looks good. Yeah, and this should have been pick up a 2K counter probably. Yep, and we're 5 wide now. He's at 1 life. I still have 5 life. It's kind of a rough spot for Rebecca here. Yeah, she's getting value off leader ability every turn, but I just don't see how she deals with this board at the moment. Alright, it's time to just do 7s. And that is game. They had 2, 3. I don't know if Leo is a 1K or 2K counter, so they had 2, 3, 4 or 5K counter, which was just not going to be enough. Okay, let's take a look at our second to last game. As you can tell, these games are going by quickly. I've got an interesting starting hand. I've got Teach, I've got Sengoku, and I've got 2 Weevils now off of this search. So the best card with Martial D Teach is Weevil, because it turns it into a +1 rather than a -1 every time you use Teach leader ability. And it allows you to remain curving out as well. So now we go Jinbei Weevil, then we Teach, into Jinbei Weevil, and this is just disgusting. It's turn 3, and yeah, we've got 3 6K bodies on the board. Yeah, so we just deal with Bonclay. Easy swing, and then he's a 7K leader right now. So we can swing 7 a couple of times and see what happens. And he just quits because he literally had no counter. His life was no counter. Pretty rough, but yeah, that's the power of Dofi. And that right there is a good argument to play the Teach variant, which it's not my favorite build, but I think that this is just a consistent and straightforward list. I think it's a great place to start. Okay, and then we're gonna play into Kalgara. This is our last game. And then we'll look at the deck at the end. Now, obviously, Doflamingo is the premier aggro deck, so it's hard for other decks to compete with it because of the amount of value that it gets. And then you're gonna see I've got Jozu Law now, and every time he plays something, I'm gonna be able to Law bounce it, and then pick up something that gives me value. Here, easy counter, give him the Perona. Against Kalgara, if you take all their life, actually irrelevant, because they can still use leader ability on 0 life. But he's got a monster hand, so we're gonna pudding him, set him back even more. Like it was playable for him up until that point, and now I law bounce. I really want to bounce like anything other than this Perona, because the Perona is not going to get me much value anymore. Then he's got Kalgara into Gadatsu to remove Weevil. It's a little sad, but I still got Jozu. Perona Jozu. Okay, and then we're like draw play, right? Go 5 in the lead, he's got to give me a card, and then I can Jozu this Kalgara. When he goes face, we don't care. Like, when I have 5 life, that's just take. He Kalgara Norlands for that heal, and then he keeps going face. He doesn't have anything to swing into, so obviously he has to go face, but we just take those. We're not worried about dying. Yeah, he's got things like Rush Ace, Lin, but even just like looking at this game state, he left 0 Dawn up. I actually probably would have fought for board here, so he would have been fine, but I was probably going to Jozu bounce Kalgara again. So yeah, good game to my opponent. You can see how much of a problem this leader is. Okay, so let's take a look at the deck. This is a very straightforward deck, and actually I'd already make some changes. I'd flip Perona and Buggy. I'd do 2 Perona, 4 Buggy. And then like there's tech cards that you want to consider. So if your local meta has a lot of like green Bonnie, let's say, I'd try and sneak in some red rocks. If you've got a lot of BY Luffy, I try to sneak in some gravity blades. If there's a lot of black decks, I'd probably leave the list as is. Maybe sneak one more, sneak a Kaido, 10-drop Kaido. I just listed off cards, maybe I should have shown them. But either way, this list, simple. 4 Weevil, 4 Perona, 2 Pudding, 4 Crocodile, 2k counter, 4 Jinbei, 4 Sengoku, 4 Jozu, 4 Gecko Moria, 4 Mihawk, 4 Law, 2 Buggy, 4 Boa, 4 Teach, and 2 Perfume Fever. Very straightforward deck. And then things to consider are Red Rock, Gravity Blade, Kaido, and then also this Boa, 6-drop Boa. This is a very good tempo card. And then I've seen some cheeky stuff like Sanji, Mihawk. Yeah, there's lots of options out there. So anyways, that is it for me. Until next time, peace.